Miami boy.
Yeah.
Belen boy.
Yeah.
You're on Checkitow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. We're basically related. I mean, honestly, we might be related.
Might be.
Okay.
You do look like one of my cousins.
Dude.
But he's a podiatrist, so you look like him had he had a foot fetish as opposed to be.
Who says I don't have a foot fetish?
That's what I'm saying.
Depends on the foot, I gotta be honest with you. I'm actually really grossed out by feet unless it's like the most beautiful woman with like the most perfect feet. All of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'll make an exception. But we're digressing. We're already digressing.
My bad, man. Yeah.
So let's start out with being from Miami. You know, you don't think of Miami as a comedy town or a town that produces comedians, right? But you're doing shows out there when you go back. I noticed you're hosting shows. You talk a lot about, you know, being from Miami and being Cuban out here in LA.
Yeah.
Are there other Miami comedians aside from you? I mean, I can't really think. I mean, I guess Alec Castle, your homeboy from Pollo Plunge.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know if you would identify him as a Miami comic, but when I was back for the pandemic, I used to see Marcelo Hernandez a lot.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And he's doing amazing things.
Another Belen boy.
He's another Belen boy.
Wow.
Carlos Hernandez, he's a funny dude.
Is he a Belen boy too?
I don't know. I don't think so.
For people that are wondering what Belen boy is, we both went to the same high school, Belen Jesuit Preparatory School. It's basically Dead Poet Society for Cuban boys.
Yeah. Well, what I find fascinating about Belen, and I tell people all the time when they ask me to describe it, I was like, well, when it was in Cuba, Fidel Castro went there. Yeah. So Fidel Castro is an alumnus of my school.
Right.
Perez Hilton is also alumnus of my school. So
graduated ahead of me by a year or two, so I remember him in high school. By the way, in high school, he did not have this personality that he has now.
Oh no, I bet not. I didn't have this personality in high school. They beat it out of you for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I had a decent grade point average, but I got suspended for joking in class.
Okay, so what teachers were you not getting along with?
Well, it's not that I wouldn't get along. I was a respectful kid. I just would finish my work fast and then would just start talking and joking with people. Yeah,
it's a very strict school.
Yeah,
I used to get a lot in trouble. I don't know that I was joking. I just think that I was just rambunctious and halfway disrespectful.
Well, the thing was that I would just joke. I never fought kids. I never smoked cigarettes in the parking lot. I never cheated on my test. I would just joke. I felt like what I was doing was a misdemeanor and I was being put on the same level as a felony.
Because you got that smart look in your eye. You know? So there's already a strike against you before you even opened your mouth. They're already like, oh, he's probably going to be a smart.
Yeah.
If you feel even part of that.
And I was.
They take it out on you.
I was, and I'm glad. Well, it turns out that I was right. I've been doing comedy now for a little while now, so apparently.
Now, did you get into comedy in Miami, or did you get into comedy out here in Los Angeles?
No, I got into it in Chicago. I was there doing Second City, and I thought I wanted to be like a theater actor, and then I did improv. And then I liked improv. I didn't love it. And then I did like one open mic at a bar because I always wanted to do stand-up. And it went terribly, but I wanted to come back. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, I've been doing it ever since.
The bug bit. So you say you started in Chicago.
Well, I was in Chicago for a year and some change, like working at a bar in Wrigleyville, like down the street from Wrigley Field. Like it was the first time I'd been outside of Miami. And then after a little over a year, I did I think maybe a handful of open mics, and then I said I'm gonna go to Los Angeles because my brother's going to Los Angeles.
Now, for acting, or were you already in your head? Was it already in your head?
To me, I was like, I'm gonna do stand up, and then maybe some acting and maybe some writing. But I wanted to do stand up.
So when you went back to Miami and started hosting some of these one-offs, you know, that I'm seeing on your Instagram feed, that was after you started comedy out here.
Oh, that was way after.
Okay,
that was way after.
Because you can't really start comedy in Miami.
You can.
Is there like a circuit? Is there a scene? I know there's
there
the
is.
improv.
It's a small scene, but there is a scene. There's some people that run some good shows out there.
What is a Miami audience like in a show like that?
Well, I know what my audience is like.
Okay.
My audience and a Miami audience are slightly different.
What's the difference?
I think Miami is just a new city in terms of the rest of the country. Like really, like its hot point started in the '60s because it was such a retirement community.
Right.
And then the Cubans came, and then slowly other, Haitians, Jamaicans, the South Americans, everything, and they made it cool. So it's relatively new in comparison to cities like Chicago and New York and all that. So I think comedy is just starting to become like a thing that people like and get used to, because it's very much like a party city.
Right. And that's one of the things that, I mean, as far as when I see like crowds on videos of comedians that perform at the Improv, you know, the Andrew Schultzes and all that stuff when they'll post a clip. Miami audiences, you have to engage them.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be loud.
You can't lean on your stool there.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's not a long, drawn out story that you can do.
No, and they're gonna yell at you
Yes.
not because you're doing bad, but because you're doing good.
Exactly.
And if you're a low energy which I'm not, thank God.
Right.
But I've seen low energy friends of mine just have a tough time. Like, why are they yelling at me? It's like because they like you and they don't want you to stop, and you keep pausing, but you can't. So I mean, I think people show out, but it's just a matter of what. Like, there's just so much to do. Like the Miami Improv is next door to like a booming, like kind of club type of place. So you hear it next door if you're too quiet in the comedy club.
Wow.
You know, I can see a day where Miami has a very thriving comedy scene, and you know when
I mean, Miami people are funny as hell.
They
know?
are.
Cubans
They're funnier than most stand-ups I know.
And they all think they're a stand-up. If you go to a party and there's someone in the corner, they're holding court, they're telling a good story. It's a lot of
they're really good at fighting for attention, but stand-up is once you have the attention. Everyone's looking at you now.
Yes.
You don't got to yell no more. Everyone's looking at you now.
Yes.
What are you going to do now that you have the attention? There's definitely a difference between being funny to get attention and being funny once you have attention.
That's very, very, you nailed
I know
it.
a bunch of my cousins that are funny as hell if it's a group of us and they're trying to get people, but they would themselves if they were on stage and everyone was looking at them.
Let's talk about this collaboration he did with another Berlin boy, Alec Castle. That's what he's going by now.
Alec Castillo, yeah.
Alex Castillo. But if you go on his Instagram, it says Alec Castle.
Yeah, no, that's a handle, man. That's a handle, you know.
I wanted to have him on the podcast, but he goes, no, he wants to wait till August, right before Pollo Punch is officially released.
Yeah.
Somehow, and then he'll come on the thing. But he's very smart, so I can tell he's analyzing, when to do stuff and when to promote.
I just want to talk to somebody.
That's funny.
You said you wanted to talk to me, and I was like, you want to have an hour conversation in LA? Yes, I'd love to.
All right, but I love the fact that I first proposed an early time, and you're like, no way, we're going to do it in the afternoon. Are you not a morning person?
No, I have some stuff that I have to do in the morning usually. Yeah.
But are you a morning person?
Yes. I wake up like at 7 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah.
Most comics that I know, one of the reasons they do comedy is so they don't have to wake up early ever. Pollo Punch, tell me about it. You're the voice of the star, the chicken.
Of Yunyan, yeah. Yunyan.
Okay, so it started off as something small and then became something, a bigger.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Alec, I met him backstage at a place called Umbrella in Miami. It was an independent.
Did you guys know that you guys were Berlin boys?
No, we started talking. And it's weird how many people you meet from Berlin just in the realm of just like any space in Miami. But it was interesting to me how many were doing comedy. He said, "Oh, you've lived in Los Angeles." I mean, yeah. He's like, "Oh, I want to go and everything." And he asked me all these questions, and he's a very curious person, and I'm very drawn to curious people, and people who are like passionate to an annoying level, because you know what I'm saying. Like I think especially with social media, we just live in a time where everyone thinks it's like not cool to be passionate and earnest,
right?
And I think that is so corny and wrong. So when this guy was like, his eyes were bright and everything like that, he's like, I want to go, and I also anime and all that. I'm like, cool. And we started playing basketball together and hanging out together and doing comedy together. And when I moved to LA, he had moved. When I moved back to LA the second time, he had already been here for a few months. And we started hanging out. And he said like, "Hey man, if you ever have any ideas for like a cartoon, I would love to." And we just started slowly talking about our experiences with our families. And then we came up with Pollo Punch together, and it's slowly but surely raising money, and Alec got a grant through the Land Film Institute. We got to make like a short, and it kind of all came together really easily. Like it was one of the most effortless things I've ever done. It feels like everything I've done in my life cumulatively was building towards this like type of project.
Really nice.
Yeah, because like when they like in the industry they tell you like, well, if you're Cuban, we'd love to see some Cuban stuff from you. I don't consider myself to be that Cuban.
Right.
I don't like.
I feel the same way. Like out here, if I'm the only Cuban in the room, and that's usually a good thing. You don't want too many Cubans in the room. In Miami, there's like too much, but here, so I have to represent Cuba first for people. But I'm like, growing up in Miami, I was more I was more into like rock. To me, Cuba was my parents' culture.
Yeah.
I felt American, and so I spoke in English primarily. Now I'm kind of trying to regain my Spanish.
Right.
Actually, coming out here and living with working with Mexicans that speak perfect Spanish,
Yes,
made me want to like rediscover.
Well, see, that's what happened to me. So I was like kind of a bad Spanish speaker because my parents emphasized English.
Right.
And then I moved to LA and I started practicing, and because I worked in a lot of bars and a lot of restaurants, so my Spanish got better in Mexican kitchens.
Yeah.
And then I came home and my grandmother was like, "Ay, mira tu español, qué bueno eres. No sé por qué tú tienes un acento mexicano."
That's exactly what I got when I started coming back to Miami. They're like, you're saying certain words like Mexican. I'm like, well, because I'm.
And I told her, I was like, I could not speak Spanish, or I could speak Spanish with a Mexican accent. You choose, because no one here wanted to help me.
That's funny.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like you, especially since like a lot of my influences growing up were people like Eddie Murphy and Robin Williams and stuff like that, and I liked hip hop music and R&B music. It's almost like you feel like an imposter if you're talking about those kind of things. Now I figured out a way to talk about those things that's not that I feel like I'm not faking anything.
Right.
And I've started to be able to talk about it in my act. And also, like, Pollo Punch was the first time I did something like that where I'm like, this is not corny. This is not placating. This is not selling out. This is something I could speak to that is cool, that my family would love, and also someone who doesn't know anything about Cuban people I think would also love.
So tell us a little bit about Pollo Punch. What is it about?
It's about a Cuban rooster that wants to be a boxer. It's really that simple. I mean, there's more stuff in the story, but that's the root of it.
That's funny. So all I saw was a trailer, but I thought it was hilarious. Love the voice.
Thank you.
Love that he's like a sleepy. Was he drunk? Is the rooster drunk?
He's narcoleptic.
Oh, okay. That is awesome. And how'd you guys come up with the idea? Just you and Alex
talking.
together? Yeah.
Just talking. I'm a big fan of boxing, and boxing movies. So there was aspects of like boxing stuff outside of the obvious, like stuff like Rocky and stuff like that.
Okay, culture shock moment. When you came here to LA, and all of a sudden for the first time you're confronted if Cuba comes up with Che and Fidel being heroes.
Yeah.
To non-Cubans, is that like a weird?
Fidel is not as much of a hero as among liberal people in California.
As like
Che Guevara.
Che Guevara,
which I get why.
I get why. He's the ultimate revolutionary.
No, it's because he wore a beret, and the other one wore a military baseball cap.
True.
It was branding. It's just good branding. If you look at Che Guevara's like image, he looks like Johnny Depp. They did a great job of branding.
He's a beautiful man. He was the coolest looking revolutionary. Like when you think of a revolutionary, you think Che.
I think it was branding, and I think he had some decent ideas. I think the execution of those ideas was terrible.
And like you said, I get if you're not from Cuba and your country wasn't turned into the dictatorship it was, because you can see just the revolutionary part of this of this character. And I understand why it's romantic. I understand why this person is romanticized and why he has this aura that is something to look up to. I have a guy here, a producer, Luis. He produces some of our music shows. Proud Mexican guy. He had a Che Guevara shirt. So when I started working here, I kind of made a comment. I'm like, a Che Guevara shirt. I'm like, and he's like, no, but he was trying to explain to me why Che is a hero to him. And I kind of like, I had to put it on him. I go, look, I get why you think Che is a hero, because he told the imperialist, capitalist United States to go, F themselves, and you wish you had that courage. And he never wore the shirt again. I do have, because I can go off on this forever, but I do have a cool story, just because I like looking at things from both sides, right?
Yeah.
You know the way he died? So he was captured in Bolivia because Fidel Castro sent him away.
Che Guevara, how did he die?
Che Guevara.
Yeah.
So, but the CIA guy, he wrote a book. I forgot what the book is called, but anyway, he basically said that he walked in, he sees Che, he was captured by the Bolivian people who contacted the CIA. The CIA sent this Cuban guy who fought in the Bay of Pigs to go in there, and Che knew he was going to get executed, and so he gives Che a cigarette, and he says, "Is there anything that you want me to pass along? Before they take you out?" And he stands up and he says, "Tell Fidel that the revolution we'll be complete or something. So something like that. And then the guy's walking on, the guy goes, and Che goes, stop. And he says, tell my wife I love her and to find someone else to marry.
Che.
Oh, are we humanizing Che Guevara?
Che. Say something nasty so I can
hate you, but
say something nasty so I can do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good. But isn't that what comedy is, though, right? Looking at things, from both sides, even taking something serious, taking the emotion out of it, and seeing it from all angles.
I think you do have to have a centrist perspective to a lot of things, and it's tough because that's why, like I said, I'm very I'm not lonely. I'm an alone person because I don't attach myself to one group of people or one ideology. When you look at things from a centrist perspective, you're going to piss off a lot of people on both sides. Like when I go to Miami, people think I'm too liberal, and when I'm in LA, people think I'm too conservative.
Yeah. But that's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of being informed and being open-minded and realizing, okay, it's not black and white. I mean, very few situations are black and white.
No.
Most of it is gray. Most of it is mixed. Most of it has two different things going on at the same time.
Well, and the only reason that things are made to be in black and white is because it's lucrative for people to fight each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's just people being pitted against one another makes them put their dollars in a certain way, and guess what? Richer folks win.
Yeah.
That's it. No matter who's fighting, richer folks win.
God, that's the way to put it. Richer folks win.
That's it.
Jeez Louise.
I don't care, and I don't got no problem with rich people,
Yeah.
but they're not gonna get me to fight somebody else just in a war for dollars. It makes no sense.
Well, the next war is going to be us against AI and Terminator robots.
Sure,
so I
sure.
mean, that's ideology goes out the window. It's just going to be humanity versus the machines.
Yeah, well.
Just going back to the Miami comedy scene, because I do want to see a comedy scene happen there. Is it part of your mission, or maybe like a secondary or third, how do you say, tertiary mission, to, as you continue to build and grow your comedy career here in LA, in those times of the year that you do go back to Miami, to either host shows or just encourage people out there to foster a comedy scene out there? Because like we said, Miami people are funny, but there isn't a comedy scene yet the way you have in New York, Chicago, or LA.
Well, I just think it's slowly building, because just Miami is behind culturally. Not behind, it's newer.
Right.
It's just newer, but it's cooler in a lot of ways. Like Miami's truly diverse in a way that other cities just are not.
Very unique.
Like I remember when I moved to Los Angeles, like my Mexican homies, I'd be like, why aren't you guys the mayor? Like Cuban people are the mayor
That's what
where I'm from.
that's what I tell Mexican people. You guys should be running
Yeah.
LA completely, not just the Mexican part.
Yeah.
You should be running all of LA.
Yeah, I'm just like,
there should be a Mexican mayor
like
every
80%
single
of
time.
Dodger Stadium is Mexican fans,
Yeah.
and I honestly, well, I mean, I think that's a big thing when you move to Los Angeles, Hollywood versus Los Angeles,
Right.
like trying to figure out those spots.
Yeah.
Like I came here looking for Hollywood. I ended up falling in love with Los Angeles. Not to be
Yes.
corny about it, but that's really what I like about it.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Wait, there was something else that I wanted to say before. With
Oh, would I want to foster
Yeah.
the people? Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, I love going back to Miami to do shows. I love putting on my own shows whenever I get the chance. And they usually end up, I've had some really good ones. I've had some ones that weren't as well attended as I wanted them to be, but it's all learning. Yeah, I would hope that people go out and keep going to comedy clubs and because it's my favorite thing.
Mike Menendez,
Yeah.
Belen Jesuit Wolverine,
Yeah.
the voice of the Rooster in Pollo Punch, comes out. I think people are going to be able to see it different places. I think in August is what Alex said. It's going to be
Sometime around there,
available
yeah.
somewhere
Sometime
on
around there,
platforms
yeah.
and stuff like that. Dude, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You have that look in your eye, like you know what's going on.
Oh, that's ADHD, bro. That's not what.
No, you know what's going on, and it's all, and your mind is just trying to figure out the best way to explain what's going on to all these around you. that you get bored of and you feel alone around? Did I sum you up?
I didn't mean to say it that way.
No, I completely relate to you.
They've been good. They've been good people. I just don't like being around. I just don't like being around people for too long.
I am the same freaking way. I will end here. We both went to this Catholic school.
Yeah.
Were you rebellious during like religion class or theology class, or were you like a good Catholic school boy?
Other way. I like Jesuits. I don't like Catholicism necessarily. I like Jesuits. I like the way that they approach faith.
Okay, but we just had a Jesuit the first Jesuit Pope.
Yeah.
Passed away, Pope Francis. And Marcelo Hernandez, who's now on SNL, went to our high school. You didn't
Way
go,
after me.
Way
I think he went with Alec.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, Belen Boy's coming up, dude.
Coming up, man.
Smart.
Yeah. I mean, it really does speak to. I'm glad that there are dudes from Belen and doing things in the arts, because I think it speaks to generationally where Cubans are.
Yeah.
My cousin said it best. My cousin, who's a lawyer in Tampa Bay, but I love him to death because he always puts things into amazing perspective. I think he could be a creative if he wanted to be. He said that our grandparents' generation, their goal was to make it to the U.S. Our parents' generation was to establish roots that like held us to the U.S., and then our generation gets to dream. I always found that to be very profound, and I'm starting to see evidence of it, and it makes me smile.
Yeah, you're the evidence of it.
Yeah. Well,
all right, my friend. So where can we find you?
At Mike the Menendez on Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
At Mike the Menendez.
Mike the Menendez on Instagram.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
And I'm coming back in August with.
Absolutely, you're coming back with Alec.
This is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. I definitely want to have both of you on so we can promote Boyo Punch. Mm-hmm. And I'm always down with a Arusha with narcolepsy who wants to be a boxer. I mean, that's just, it speaks to my heart. All right, brother, you've been on Checkitow.